The Cedar Fair and Six Flags merger has finally gone through, but what does this mean for us? All this and more.
That was my fault.
That's okay. Welcome back to another episode of the Quad Down Pod. I'm Flight of Taylor, and I'm joined, as always, by the wonderful Josh from Station Wait. How are you today, Josh?
You know, we always say "as always" at the top of this show, like we're not down a host every week for the last 3 months. Like we haven't put out an episode in the last month. I'm gonna apologize now for this. I am restyling / redoing my apartment room by room, which means all of the stuff from my kitchen and living room is basically shoved in here at the moment. Besides that, I'm doing great. Feels like the world's on fire because it's really hot outside. Always.
Always, yeah.
But besides that, I can't really complain.
Josh, this is not Coaster related at all, but you know what I just saw before we started?
Our listener retention dropping?
Yeah, no. No, you said the world's on fire. There's gonna be a Shrek 5.
Oh, yeah, that's old news.
Is that? Okay, I don't know. This is just the first I've seen of it. So.
Did you think of that? Because my world's on fire. How about yours? That's the way I like it and I never get bored. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Valid segue. Anyway, so how about this merger?
Yeah, this is news, guys.
Well, kind of. We know it's
we all knew it was happening. Like 7 months ago, but it's official as of last Monday?
Last Monday,
July 1st
at 4 p.m. So effectively Tuesday because it was like end of business to Monday.
Close enough. It was Monday.
July 1st-ish.
Everybody the last day of June, everybody was like, all right, it's merger Eve.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like, we all treated it like what was going to happen at noon on Monday that it wasn't going to go through.
Yeah,
there wasn't.
Yes, I agree. It was just official.
It was official. So, Josh, where do we want to start with this?
How has the park been responding? Park. There's 42 of them. How has the new chain, Six Flags Entertainment, communicated this to us? There's a press release and some FAQs. You want to walk me through that?
Yeah, let's go through the press release first, I guess. So basically, the combined company will be led by a proven management team featuring, I'm also reading this as a quote, featuring executives from both Cedar Fair and Six Flags. Richard Zimmerman, president and CEO of Cedar Fair, serves as the president and CEO of the combined company, while Salim Basul, president of CEO of Six Flags, serves as executive chairman of the board of directors. The headquarters will be located in Charlotte, North Carolina, with significant finance and administrative operations maintained in Sandusky. So they basically have this whole page, which I can screen share for you guys to see.
Are you pulling up the FAQs?
What?
The FAQs?
No, I'm on the press release for investors.
Oh, okay.
So we got that up next. Our lovely new logo. That's basically just the Cedar Fair logo, but now we're Six Flags. We can get into this stock stuff here in a minute for Josh to explain.
Hey.
I don't know anything about that. So basically, on Monday night, they released this whole big long thing, basically saying, we just want to bring the best of both companies and come together and make sure that we don't die, because both companies needed each other to survive. I'm skimming this because I haven't read this since Monday. No, basically that's it. We have a value of approximately $8 billion, is well positioned for future growth. I believe somewhere in here that they covered that they stuck with Six Flags name because it has more reach.
Yes, that was the official answer. As well as they look forward to combining the Six Flags innovation, is what they said.
Innovation.
Which is not what I'd consider Six Flags to be known for, but I'm going to give them some credit. They do innovate occasionally.
Occasionally. You know, maybe
they're more willing to take a shot on something like an RMC or X2, like those kind of things.
Right. We're not just using B&M a million times because we've fought with everyone else.
Whoa! hey, Premier, Zamperla,
Zamperla.
B&M,
Okay. Zamperla.
Art
Okay.
Engineering. Yes.
Anyway.
Although, while we're on that topic, I do want to say Gerstlauer and Six Flags do have literal bad blood between each other.
Were we hoping for a Gerstlauer anytime soon, though?
A lot of people want a Gerstlauer at Cedar Point that
Really?
I've seen. Yeah, I've seen that a lot over the last year or so.
Huh. Interesting. I have not really seen that, but I'm going to take your word for it.
Gerstlauer makes some punchy launches, so...
I like a good punchy launch.
Plus, I think if Cedar Point wanted the inversion record, Gerstlauer's probably the one to do it.
Probably, yeah.
But personally, that's not my cup of tea. I'm not an inversion machine kind of guy. Anyway,
FAQs. So, all of the parks have these on their websites. I think Kings Island was the first one to put it out. It's where I saw it. I believe
so. Yes, that's where I saw it as well.
If anybody wants to correct me on that, go ahead, but I don't think it's that important.
I agree. And of note, every park across the Legacy Cedar Fair, I think that's the official term that they're using now, is Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy parks for either chain.
Yeah, so everything across the Legacy Cedar Fair and Six Flags parks has this exact FAQ. So if you go to Darien Lake's website, which I looked at, it has these exact questions. If you go to Knott's, I'm pretty sure it has these exact questions, etc.
Yeah. So a lot of these honestly hit the same couple points. I'm gonna
over
just like
and over
again. There are no immediate changes. I don't know what y'all wanted them to do in the middle of June or July.
Yeah, it's my understanding, from what I've heard from a couple people inside the park as well as a couple people outside the parks, is that any changes happening in 2024 are purely on the corporate level.
Yeah.
We won't see anything customer facing until 2025 at the absolute earliest. And if there is anything customer facing for 2025, more likely than not, it's going to be a pass structure change and possibly slightly restructured investments with more parks getting things than we expected, is kind of what I've heard. So, yeah, walk me through these. I know they basically all say nothing's happening, but is there anything that stands out to you?
I'm gonna... Actually, I can't flip to the doc because I'm screen sharing. So, look at this like 4 different times back to back, where it said, we asked about season passes.
Yeah.
Guys, no, you can't use your season pass. You can't use your Cedar Fair pass at your Six Flags park, and you can't use your Six Flag pass at your Cedar Fair park.
I got a good laugh out of that, actually, scrolling through that. Can you use your Six Flags pass? No. Can you use your Cedar Fair pass? No. Is there a combined pass? No. Like, it was so many pass holder questions.
Because that's all anybody really cares about. But it's like, I don't know. I would be upset if I, at the end of last summer, bought a Six Flags and a Cedar Fair pass, and now one of them's obsolete. Like, it would be upsetting to me.
I don't have it in my Apple Wallet, but I was going to say, I have a all parks pass for both, and I would have been pretty upset if they were just like, okay, those are combined, you lose your money.
Right. You can't use your pass perks at Six Flags.
Which, that's a really good question that we're going to kind of get into later, like best case, worst case of this merger. But a really good question is, which pass perk system are they going to go with?
You're going to have to walk me through the Six Flags perks.
Yeah, I'll pull it up and show it to you, probably.
Because I really like how they just redid the Cedar Fair ones, except for I have a couple gripes, but we'll get into that here in a minute.
Yes, I actually really am looking forward to hearing your input on that, because I have barely been going to parks this summer, except for Darien Lake, so I know what the structure is, but I don't, have any idea what the gripes could be, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, literally all of these are just restating the same things about season passes. They're separate. And the only other thing that we will also touch on here in a minute are the Cedar Fair
Whoa!
park name changes.
It's July and you're just ripping off the. Oh, never mind.
No, oh my gosh, I was trying to say Cedar Flags, and that's not what I meant.
I know.
No.
If anybody is offended, Taylor is a very open member of the LGBT community, so.
Very, very much so. So yeah, no, the combined company will maintain the legacy names and branding of each park in its portfolio, and no changes to park names are planned or being contemplated at this time. I see you, Cedar Point sign change.
Sorry, I just clicked on the Six Flags merch store, and I actually really like their website.
Oh,
but yeah.
Oh, sorry, that reminded me of something else. If you go to like the Kings Island gear shop, like where you used to like online or like Cedar Point online store, it redirects to a Cedar Fair merch store now. Like all the Cedar Fair stuff is only in one spot, which I don't like.
No, well, I don't know, but I like. That's how Six Flags is. Six Flags that's how the Six Flags website is, and I really like the design of it. But
I guess it's like fine because like I guess if you're ordering like a bunch of different park stuff, that's cool. So you don't have to pay shipping at 10 different parks, but I I want to be able to surf through it better. And also I thought it was interesting that this launched on Monday as well. So they changed. I don't know what the reasoning was, but
I mean, I think we can connect a couple dots there.
We can connect a couple dots. I also thought it was interesting. They're bringing like knot stuff and like, did you see the new Squishmallow line? Where it's like,
I think so.
Like they have a boysenberry, they have chicken legs. It's like a whole Cedar Fair check-in instead of like park specific ones like they've been in the past.
Way to go, Ryan from Dorney, getting that Cedar Fair cinematic universe off the ground.
No, for real. Let's go, Ryan. So let's go to Dorney Park. Josh, guess where I'm going this weekend?
Dorney Park and Hershey Park.
And Kennywood.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're hitting Kennywood on the way back.
Nice. Let me know how it is. I always want to go down there. It's day trippable. I just haven't made it out there yet.
I will be sure to let you know. So, okay. That was a random detour that was not on my list at all.
Shocker.
We love Taylor hosts. Okay. So that's kind of like our quick overview. Nothing's changing yet. Probably not for another year or two. Not 2. 2 seems a little far, but
I think we'll see the earliest changes next year.
Yeah, and probably mostly just with passes. I feel like anything else that was supposed to happen next year is probably going to be like normal. Maybe? I don't know.
Oh, they changed how the Six Flags pass holder perks work. Interesting.
Okay, so you want to explain to me the pass perks so then I can explain what I'm not liking about the Cedar Fair ones?
Yeah, let me, or maybe it's just because I'm at Darien Lake as my home park. Let me change to Great Adventure real quick. No, they just changed how the system works. Okay, so I'm switching back so I can screen share with you. Okay, how do I screen share? Share, screen, window, this one, share. Okay, so this is all the benefits of my pass currently. I get bring a friend, specialty rates, this one, public operating. So some of these are limited time. So for example, This is a July benefit, so I can get any operating weekday in July, bring a friend for $20. And then a regular all the time, bring a friend through Labor Day. This is fans and friendly. I don't know why there's 2 of these, to be honest with you. This is bring a friend, this is friends and family. They're the same price. Maybe I only get a certain amount of these. I don't know. Water park reserve seating, free parking. Preferred parking every visit is included with the all parks version at Six Flags. admission to the water park, 50% off a cabana, 15% off food and beverage, a bunch of shopping things, and these kind of cycles. So I think $5 off patriotic tea is the seasonal one, for example. Spend $30. Yep, this one is just in July. So it looks like they're just cycling benefits as it comes, which makes sense. And then, does this have... No, this is all expired stuff. So, like, these are things... They had a Father's Day, bring a friend for 20, bring a friend for... It looks like it was around Mother's Day. $10 off unlimited food. One-day dining. Buy 3... Yeah. But the way it used to work last year is you got points for doing things in, like, going to a park, going to your home park was X amount of points, going to a different park was more points, buying things was points, and then as you racked up points, you could redeem them in a member shop. To, like, you could save up for a high tier, or you could cash in on a low tier prize. I kind of like that system. But it looks like they did away with it.
Sorry, I just, okay. I was pulling up my pass perks, and it didn't show that I had my free bring a friend ticket, and I was like, excuse me?
Also, look at this merch store.
Okay, I'm coming. Hello? Ooh.
Yeah, I like this. Except, it says shop by park, but it doesn't have Darien Lake here.
Well, nobody cares about Darien Lake, Josh.
Hey. I like this, too. Shop by coaster.
That's cool.
Do they have Darien Lake merch? Shop by park. They don't. That's really annoying. Anyway, yeah, so that's how the pass holders work. The pass holder perks work now. It used to be different. Stock.
Okay.
Let's talk about stock since I'm
Hold
already
on, I
screen sharing.
didn't get to talk about my pass perks.
But I'm already screen sharing.
But Josh, my pass perk. Fine. Explain, and then I'll explain why I don't like mine, and then we can assess how we want to do them different.
Okay, good plan. So this is the one-day stock. It effectively means that at the peak it was worth $57.42. It closed at $55.39. Nothing to really worry about there. Let's look at the 5-day. So this is last week, basically an hour after the stock merged, and it peaked over $58 this week, which might not seem like a lot. Then we look at the 1 month. This is early June when the merger was like actually going to happen. I think that's when the news broke, was late May, early June. We look at the 6 month, early May. It's just going up, basically. Ever since the news of the merger happened, the stock has just been going way up. It was averaging... This used to be Cedar Fair stock, for the record. It is now... That's really funny, actually. It is now the Six Flags combined stock. So it was averaging down in the 30s, 40s, and then as soon as the merger news broke, like I said, May and June, it started going up, and then when it was finalized, it went up again, and then when the merger actually happened, it went up another $6. So basically, the stock is... Its all-time high was 2017, $70. It got stuck down in the 30s for a while, and it looks like it might be on its way to reach an all-time high by the end of the year.
Nice.
So, financially speaking, at least on the stock market, the merger has gone well so far.
Nice. Good to know. Congrats to anybody that owned it.
I considered buying right before the merge, and I didn't, and now I'm already kicking myself.
I also considered it, but I was like, I don't know how any of this actually works, so I probably shouldn't do that.
That's a good point. So tell me about your past perks.
Okay, so so before this year, Cedar Fair's past perks worked on, you only get past perks like at your home park, besides like the free, like, you know, your pass add-ons and free parking and stuff, whatever. So you only get them at your home park, and that's stayed the same. But it was basically just random things that they randomly sent out, and a lot of people would never get any.
Yes.
Whatever, and it would always be like random stuff. It'd be like 10% off food, and like everybody has like food passes, whatever.
Yeah.
So this year they rolled out a new one where you get, like, it's based off of how many times you visited, and you can see, like, okay, if you do this, like, you can like plan around it. So, like, for this month, if you visit one time, you can get a free small fudge. Cool.
This is for Kings Island, by the way.
This is for Kings Island. I don't know about everybody else.
I think it's free fudge for Wonderland, too.
I think a lot of them stay pretty similar.
Yeah, I'll check Wonderland's just a fact check, but I'm pretty sure they're similar.
Okay. 2 times. If you have a prestige pass, you get an extra 10% off dessert. If you don't, you get a free hot dog if you buy another one. Visit 3 times with a prestige pass, $4 off Dippin' Dots. 3 times without a prestige pass, 15% off merch. 4 times with a prestige pass, buy one get one free blue ice cream. 4 times without, extra 10% off at Grain and Grill, Island Smokehouse, or Jukebox Diner. So, like, that's all fine and dandy. I like that you can, like, kind of know what to expect, but also they don't stack on each other. So, like,
oh, really?
if you visit 4 times, you only get the 10% off at Grain and Grill, Island Smokehouse, or Jukebox.
That's annoying.
Right. Like, I feel like you should be able to collect them all. But whatever. Whatever. Last month's pass perks, I thought were really good. It was like merch. It was, you visited 4 times and you got a free Bring a Friend ticket. Now, obviously, they're not going to do that every month. But, like, I feel like you do that and then the next month, it's just a 10% off. Like, those are, like, 2 wildly different, like, tiers.
Well, kind of. Bring a Friend is worth like $30. 10% off at a hotel is probably worth about...
It's not a hotel.
What
it's
is
food. It's food. Grain and Grill.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was a hotel for some reason. Yeah, no, you're right then. You're right.
Yeah.
How would you fix this? I have an idea, but I want to see how you would fix this.
1, I would let us, like, stack. 2,
let's assume financially they don't want to be able to give you every reward.
Sure.
So how do you fix it?
I don't know, besides, like, trying to, you know, like, okay, if we did a free Bring a Friend one week or 1 month, the next month that should be, like, a 30% off at, like, a merch. Like, something like that. Like, something, maybe not completely equal, but a lot more equal than, okay.
Ironically, I think the old Six Flags idea would fix this. You get points, so if you visit once, you get 1 point, twice you get 2 points, 3 you get 3 points, something like that. And then either at the end of the month or the end of the season, you can cash out your points. So, like, maybe they give you, if you get 4 visits in a month, you get 6 points. And then you can, like, a fudge is 1 point, BOGO is 2 points, Dippin' Dots is 3 points, and 10% off is 4 points. You have 6 points. You can get the 10% off and something cheaper, or you can get 2 cheaper things and kind of, like, customize it how you want from there.
So, like, if you went to an arcade. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
And I like that. I think that's kind of what Hershey was doing back in June with their thing.
Yeah.
And that seemed pretty interesting. I, like, kept getting emails about it. I don't live close enough to have participated.
Yeah,
but
same.
Also, Hershey does the, like, okay, standard, this is your pass perks for the month that everybody's getting, and they rotate every month.
And Hershey's are pretty good, because, Hershey's food discounts matter to me a lot more, because they have, like, food I want to get, plus I don't have a dining pass there, plus their desserts are phenomenal, so it's kind of like a 3-for-1.
I don't actually think I like their pass perks this month as much as I did last month, and of course I'm going this month.
Do you have a pass?
Yeah.
Are you planning on going twice?
Originally I was. Now I don't know.
Yeah, they have the loyalty challenge as well.
Yeah, so which I think is what I was talking about. Oh,
it is.
Wait.
What?
I get to go during this.
Yeah, so you get... How do you actually get points is the question.
By scanning your pass.
Yep. So basically there's 7 different levels, ranging from double discount all the way up to invitation to a special Halloween preview. And free fast pass, free bucket of fries, free game, free Dippin' Dots. Level 2 is Bring a Friend. It goes up to 7, guys. So, like, I agree. I think Hershey really does their pass perks well. And like I said, like, 30% off a milkshake at Hershey is worth more than 70% off a meal at most other parks, in my opinion.
Right now, for Giant King and full size, buy 2 get 1 free piece of fudge at the Sweetery. And buy 1 get 1 regular free ice cream, custard, or ice at Simply Chocolate or Rita's.
Ooh, Rita's. Yeah. So I'm interested in which one of these systems, or if they're going to come up with a new system they're going to go with. Same with Fast Lane / Go Fast or whatever they call it, and the ADA system, and like all those. I'm very interested how they're going to pick and choose which one they go with. Like dining, well, their dining passes are close-ish.
Yeah.
But like the drink pass at Six Flags, you just get a cup that you can take around. Whereas Cedar Fair, you have, the option, which I prefer the paper cup option personally.
Yeah.
You don't even have to scan at Six Flags. You just walk up and hand them the cup.
Oh, that's cool. But no, I'd rather have the paper cup.
I agree. One of my Six Flags cups got stolen last year, and
Yikes.
if we had to scan for it, couldn't have been stolen because your picture is tied to it. So there's that. But yeah, I'm very interested in which system they go down. I imagine with Cedar Fair investing a lot in their Fast Pass system this last year, they're either going to roll over those machines or use that system entirely or something like that. I don't imagine that within the next 3 years they're just going to trash that whole system again.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not a fast lane user, so.
Yeah, I very rarely do. So it doesn't affect me that much, to be honest with you. More so the ADA and the dining pass and all that kind of stuff will affect me.
Yeah. The ADA, I'm definitely curious to see how they go about that. And I'm going to want to know before the beginning of next season what they decide to do.
I don't know if they're going to announce it. If anything, I think it'll be... Well, I'm sure we'll find out from, Elizabeth or Ryan or somebody. Like, I'm sure we'll be able to find out if we just ask. Because I don't think it's going to be a big secret. Like, the park's not announcing it. I just don't think they're going to make a big deal out of it. Right. So I'm sure we'll be able to find out if we just ask the right people next year. But, yeah. Well, we have some questions. We asked for questions about the merger. And a lot of them are going to kind of get into the other points we wanted to talk about. So let's start going through those questions.
Do we want to save McLovin's for last since it has nothing to do with the merger?
We could save it for last, or we could get it out of the way.
McLovin asks, "What our most anticipated hypercoaster is overseas?" I just realized that if I skip it, I'm gonna forget about it.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you have an answer for this?
I'm gonna go with Hyperia because I'm not familiar with any other coasters that are hypers over there right now.
I gotta look up the name of something.
Hyperia's the new one.
Yeah, that's Hyperion. I want to try. It's like 250. It's 253 feet with a longer drop, I believe, and it's an Intamin. I think it's got Skyrush-esque trains. It just looks really interesting. It's at Energylandia, which is one of my most bucket list parks as well. It's got an 85-degree drop into a tunnel, and it's a 269-foot drop. That just sounds so bizarre and cool to me.
It does. It sounds fun.
Okay, into the merger questions.
Thanks, McLovin. All right. All Clear and Out of Here asks, post-merger, will we see any Six Flags or Cedar Fair parks close or get sold off? Which ones?
I think...
Go ahead.
What you were going to say, to not interrupt Taylor, is we've kind of addressed this multiple times. But I think it's a little different now that the merger's actually gone through.
Yeah.
So I think this is a really good chance to look at best case, worst case for what could happen with this merger.
Right.
Worst case, obviously parks get sold off, the whole company crashes, Cedar Point gets renamed.
Hold on, I want to read my note that was goofy.
Okay, read that off.
IDFK, it crashes and burns in a fiery pit of hell in the US is out 42 amusement parks.
Well, really like 26 amusement parks because the other half are water parks.
Close enough.
Yeah, I get your point. I think obviously that's worst case of the worst case. And then
like
there's
not
best
gonna
case.
happen.
No. I don't think absolute worst or absolute best is going to happen, but I do want to touch on them. Which best case is they just take the best parts of both chains: Six Flags, affordability, innovation, as we discussed earlier, positive brand recognition with Cedar Fair's ops, cleanliness, food, basically the stuff Cedar Fair, and then just kind of smash them together into one chain. That's best case. But I think the question of will we see any parks close kind of falls into the realism category of discussing. Yes.
California's Great America that was already probably gonna close in like 10 years.
That's actually a really interesting question because for a long time everybody's like, what's going to happen to all these coasters? I've seen a lot of people saying Discovery Kingdom might close, which was the other park in San Francisco area. So maybe they try to keep CGA, close Discovery Kingdom instead. That would be a plot twist.
That would be a plot twist because they sold the land,
but the city might not rezone it.
Yeah,
so it might be that since they sold the land, now that they're a different company, they could like buy it back at a better price or like some weird loophole there. I don't know too much about the law with how that works for buying land and all that kind of stuff, but I've heard people theorizing maybe Discovery Kingdom closes and CGA stays open.
Interesting. But that's like kind of long term. I feel like in the next couple years.
I would say by end of decade, are we looking at any parks being closed or sold?
Is anybody like dying right now besides Darien Lake?
Shut up. Darien Lake's on the up and you know
they are. And I'm so happy for them.
Is anybody dying? No. There's a lot of parks that are hurting, but that's more for lack of investment, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I guess the question really is, are they going to invest evenly across the chain? And in my opinion, my humble opinion, it makes sense to give each small park its last hurrah to see if you can generate business out of it. Give it a couple new restaurants, give it a big new ride, maybe do a couple facelifty things, but don't spend too much, obviously. And then you're either upping the value of your park before you sell it and getting a good ROI, or you're discovering that the park has the market. I don't think they're gonna, December 31st or January 1st, 2025, we're not gonna get a press release that says Darien Lake, Frontier City, Dorney Park. We're not just gonna get a massive off-selling. I think they're gonna genuinely try with all the parks in one way or another.
Well, I don't know how Six Flags does their
you've never been to Six Flags until today.
Yeah, no. Today was my first Six Flags trip.
She went to Kings Island.
Yeah, I went to Six Flags over Cincinnati. But no, but with the Cedar Fair, we get one big park, one or two of the big parks, and one tiny park gets an investment. Something like that.
For the last couple years anyway.
For the last couple years. And then, but does Six Flags kind of do that same thing where it's they're two of their big ones and one small? Or is
Six Flags used to try to give something to every park every year.
Yeah.
It's kind of fallen apart within the last few years. Darien Lake, until we found out that, I guess Darien Lake's gotten Titan Track every year, so I can technically say they've been getting something. But in terms of major things, I think the last big thing was pre-COVID, 2019. We got a really tall star flyer.
Yeah.
But this year, they haven't invested a ton into new attractions, but they're redoing Mind Eraser for next year. They just opened Big Kahuna, which is one of their star water slides that's been closed since 2021. They put 250 more feet of Titan track on Predator. They redid the vertical loop on Boomerang. Rumor is there's going to be 2 trains next year on all the coasters. There's 2 trains on Tantrum now. I'm actually making a video about this, so I'm not going to spoil anything more. But moral of the story is they're investing in Darien Lake Small right now. So
Josh has a YouTube channel?
Oh, you wouldn't know. I haven't uploaded in over a year. But I am working on a video about this. So yeah, I think that they're going to try to go back to that model of investing in every park in one way or another, not necessarily a big capital investment, but, beautification, landscaping, parking infrastructure. Darien Lake just got electric vehicle charging in the parking lot.
Oh,
with
that's cool.
With these nice signs. They're ad machines realistically, but like they're these nice screens like for the stations, and there's electric vehicle parking. Like that kind of infrastructure upgrades.
That's cool.
And yeah, and they're hanging like banners around the park and like new signs and touching things up. So like it doesn't cost a lot to invest in a park. I feel like a lot of enthusiasts get lost in that you're getting a B&M Strata or you're not getting anything. Like you can invest in the smaller parks without giving them a massive new coaster.
Right, just like small things.
Yeah, that's my take on the Six Flags investment strategy anyway. Do you have anything to add to that? Sorry, I kind of dominated that question, but I have more Six Flags
I literally
experience
asked
than you.
Like I asked, I was like, what is their thing there?
That's true, you did.
Yeah, no. I don't think anybody's dying. I think, like you said, everybody's gonna kind of get there. At least, see how it goes. Get a little
plot twist. They're gonna open a new park in 3 years. That would be wild.
That would be crazy.
I don't think anybody has even joked about that, but could you imagine?
Oh my god. Where are we putting a new park, Josh?
We'll just pick some random town, call it Libertyland 2. And those parks like Libertyland and that one in Oklahoma and whatever, like these parks that nobody thinks are ever gonna actually open.
Yeah,
one of those. Actually, if I was building a park,
Six Flags Libertyland.
If I was building a park, I'd probably do it somewhere in the western half of the country, because obviously they have way less parks than East. Never eat soggy waffles.
I was gonna go with never eat sour watermelon, but
that works too. There's a lot of those. Anyway, yeah.
Every single time.
I'm gonna ask you this next question because it doesn't really apply to me at all.
Okay.
Do you think having access to all the former Cedar Fair and Six Flags Park with one pass will give you guys more of an incentive or desire to visit more Six Flags parks that are further away? This doesn't apply to me because I'm already a dual pass holder.
How am I supposed to know that Kev submitted that question, Josh?
I'm sorry, Kev. I'm not going to drop your legal name, but Kev, a close friend of the show, attendee of my wedding, good friend of mine, that was your question.
Thank you. Yes, actually, Josh, if I could get into Darien Lake, I probably would have been here like 10 times.
I believe you.
It's just like it's the cost of I have to travel to you and then buy a park ticket, and yeah, like that's a lot. I mean,
I can get you bring a friend.
Okay.
I know what you mean. I fully understand.
But yeah, no, I would be a lot more willing to go to like Darien Lake, or I don't know what the other closest Six Flags park. Or I was going to go to Virginia this year.
And do Six Flags America as well.
Yeah, like that would have made this trip like 100 times more doable, is if I didn't have to worry about admission and parking to that park, because now we have Six Flags America and King's Dominion like within an hour and a half of each other.
How far is Chicago from you?
Chicago? Oh, I just looked this up the other day. Might be a little bit longer. No, it's 6 hours.
I was gonna say.
I went when I was a freshman. Six Flags.
Because Six Flags Great America is just north of Chicago.
5 hours and 51 minutes for me.
Oh, that's like right at that range where you're like,
I gotta
want to do that? Yeah. It's like I have to stay and like Do
But if
I
I
go
had a
out on
pass-
Saturday and go to the park Sunday? Do I go out Saturday morning, do the park, drive home Sunday? Yes, if you had a pass, it would be a lot more digestible.
Because I could go, get there, hang out at the park for an hour, go to my hotel, spend a whole day, go to the park for an hour in the morning, and come home. That would be a lot more digestible.
You're missing a major part of that. You can leave at 10 a.m., stop at Kings Island at 11 for lunch, drive the rest of the way to the park.
Josh.
What?
I have to go north to get to Chicago. Kings Island south.
1 second, let me look up a map. How
Josh.
long? Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, I think I am.
Wait. I have not technically decided that yet.
I could, go out of my way to go to, Cedar Point for lunch.
Nah, that's too far out of the way.
But going to Kings Island isn't.
Hey, let me check. Fill some time while I'm being a pedantic jerk.
Okay, everybody, I got a new hot sauce today.
It only adds 40 minutes to stop at Kings Island for lunch. So the question is 40 minutes worth saving money on lunch?
No, because I'm going to spend that 20 on gas to get to Kings Island.
Anyway,
so here's my lovely new hot sauce. And here's my new mug. And okay, moving on to the next question. Yes, Kev. CP Coaster Lover asks, if Six Flags renames all of the coasters at Kings Island, what would they rename them to? You have to use names of coasters at the pre-merger Six Flags parks. That's a lot of coasters, Scott.
Let's get the obvious one out of the way. Batman the Ride for Banshee.
Yeah. Goliath for Diamondback.
Would Goliath not be Orion?
No, because I feel like Orion's blue, so it has to be Superman.
Okay, I can agree with that.
In Vertigo can be Joker's Jinx. Repaint it green and purple.
No, call it Two-Face.
Is that already a ride?
I believe it's either an inverted boomerang or a giant inverted boomerang or a regular boomerang. It's one of the boomerangs at one.
But I feel like it'd be good as a Joker's Jinx.
No, that's what Flight of Fear is.
But that can be Poltergeist. Sense if you know
it. It could be, but Joker's Jinx makes more sense to me.
I'd rather do Poltergeist for Flight of Fear if I have to change Flight of Fear.
I will give you Flight of Fear as long as you give me Vertigo. I think that's a fair trade.
Fine. Because you can do so much theming in the Flight of Fear building. It does not need to be a Joker building.
Mystic Timbers?
I don't know,
Roar. No, the Beast should be Roar.
Oh, yeah. Mystic
Timbers, I'm going to call it the Predator.
Okay.
Are we doing the kiddie coasters?
Well, we have to do something for Racer.
Oh, that's true. Racer,
Wait, don't they have Racer? Some kind of...
They have not Ring Racer. The new kiddie coaster. For some reason, my first thought was Flash Vertical Velocity, and that doesn't make any sense at all. Actually, I think Racer should be something Superman because it's got the red and the blue.
We can just... Well... We could have Superman, and then we can have Superman Ultimate
The
Flight.
ride. Yeah. Something like that. I agree with that.
Backlot can be Flash.
I want Backlot to be El Toro for no reason at all. Just because.
Sure. Go for it.
Are we forgetting anything?
Adventure Express. Oh, we also forgot Bat, but we can just make Bat Ninja.
Yeah, that makes sense. Adventure Express can be, I'm going to call it Hoot and Holler, which is the kids coaster at Darien Lake.
Okay.
Just because I like the name Hoot and Holler.
Okay.
Anything else besides the kids coasters, which I'm not really gonna touch for this?
No.
Cool. Are we gonna be at Top Thrill Stumble? It's gonna be Negative Power's very first time at CP, and they're excited. Top Thrill 2 be damned.
I thought about it, and then Top Thrill 2 closed, and I'm going to the Coaster Crew event in August instead. Yep. And also I'm going to Pennsylvania this weekend, so.
Yeah, I'm probably going to the Coaster Crew event as well, so I will not be at Top Thrill Stumble.
Yay!
That's not locked in yet, but it's like
but
very
lock it in,
likely.
Josh. Lock it in.
I probably will. I just
lock
gotta
it
figure
in.
out.
I want to see you. Tell Larry to go too.
When is it?
August 25th.
Let me check my calendar. Okay, I'll be out of town the weekend before that. Not that weekend.
Epic. So you should lock it in. But Negative Power, I hope you have so much fun. It's $35.
I do too. There's gonna be a lot of fun people there. I know. It just expired 8 days ago, and I haven't got around to it yet.
Anyway, Negative Power, I hope you have a lot of fun. I know, like, Coaster Conquest is going, and Jen is going, and there's going to be fun people up there.
Laurel's going. I think Brandon Lamps Coasters is going.
Potentially.
I think he is.
I don't. Probably.
Anyways, have a lot of fun. I hope. Oh God, I hope you have fun.
Yeah. Okay. Surveillance asks, what do we see first? DC and Looney Tunes at Old Cedar Fair parks or Peanuts at Old Six Flags parks? I also made a note of this. Surveillance was at Dorney on July 1st and reported this morning, or that morning, that a gift shop already had a Batman Funko in it that did not prior have it. So I thought that's like Funko. It doesn't matter. It's not like it's not what he means.
My response to that specifically is Disney World, Epcot, Japan Pavilion sells Mario merch. So like,
yeah. Well, and that's like, not what he meant, but he also added it to his thing.
It was just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Will we see DC and Looney Tunes at Old Cedar Fair or Peanuts at Six Flags? I have an opinion on this, but
go for it, Josh.
This is assuming that they're gonna have crossover. I don't think Peanuts at Old Six Flags Park fits very well. I think Cedar Fair parks have a unique charm almost.
Yeah.
That lends itself better to Peanuts. So I guess the answer would be DC and Looney Tunes at Old Cedar Fair just by default.
Yeah. So I had some ideas for how we can bring the DC and Looney Tunes in.
Oh God. Okay.
Millennium Force to Bugs Bunny's Space Expedition.
Frick yeah.
Or Tiny Toons Space Buggies, which I don't feel like Tiny Toons exists at any of the Six Flags parks, but I feel like that's an underutilized IP.
I wonder if there's a reason for that.
I wonder.
That's a good point. I haven't thought about that. That's a really good point.
I just liked the idea of saying Tiny Toons on Millennium Force because Tiny and Giga.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of the weakest Gigos. Anyway.
Oh, no, we have Millennium Force be Bugs Bunny's Space Expedition because it's the first. And then
Top Thrill 2 is Tiny Toons too?
No, Orion, because it's the newer Giga, can be Tiny Toons Space Buggy because the Tiny Toons are the next Looney Tunes.
Except, we're not going to get into that now.
No, that was also part of the joke was the Thuzies.
Well, I was getting at. I don't think most people would say Tiny Toons is better than the OG Looney Tunes, but Orion's better than Millennium Force.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, so yeah, I think by default it's got to be DC and Looney Tunes.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it'd be cool if there's just a hard line between the Cedar Fair Legacy Parks and the Six Flags Legacy Parks for the next 10 years.
10 years. I've heard various times of when all those licensing deals expire, starting as early as next year and as late as 2055. So yeah. I have no idea. To be honest with you.
I thought Cedar Fair renewed their Peanuts, but also they don't exist anymore, so.
Yeah, I also wonder how that works with licensing deal. Well, I guess based on old park mergers, it'll probably just carry over.
Probably something like that.
Good question, though.
Good question. Josh, do you have any more thoughts on the merger before we get into some older questions that we have stockpiled?
Viva Six Flags. Orion is still a Giga. Invest in Darien Lake.
Yeah. Add more FOFs. More aliens.
No. Hey, technically, Canada's Wonderland could be getting a FOF clone. We don't know yet.
Oh yeah, we haven't recorded since that was a thing.
We'll probably next week come out with a more news-heavy episode. This is obviously a bigger piece of news, so we wanted to dedicate an episode to it. We're gonna have a lot to catch up on.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
We have 4 more questions here that were just left over from previous episodes.
Josh, we have 8 more questions.
Oh, I forgot to scroll again!
Anyway,
I did that to myself earlier. 8 more questions.
8 more questions. Whiskey Nick asks, what coasters or even rides hold a special place in your heart? Whether it be nostalgic, a milestone, or etc. Whiskey Nick, I have to tell you something. You already know my answer.
Yeah, so let's skip Taylor. I actually want to know why FOF is nostalgic for you. You've never told me. You dodge this question every time.
Do I? Oh, I kind of do. I don't know, man. I like aliens. I have my alien tattoo. I just like aliens. Flight of Fear is also the first and only coaster where I have, like, been in line and gotten out of line. Like, not like chickened out. I got sick in the line. It was too hot. I was in a lot of pain. I got out of line. So
was this pre-knowing what was wrong with you?
We knew, but like we didn't know. Like I was like 11. It was I was scared of roller coasters at the time because I didn't understand them. I'd never like really been like. It was the only time I've been to Kings Island prior to having a pass, besides when I was a toddler.
Also, I want to clarify something. I wouldn't ask a normal person, as that was before what was wrong with you, but Taylor and I openly discuss, because we have the same condition, we openly discuss this with each other, like, at least once a week, so I'm very comfortable telling Taylor you didn't know what was wrong with you. just to be clear, I was not just being a dick.
I want to know what people that have never heard us talk to each other think.
That's a good
I just want to hear us from the outside sometimes.
I hope it comes off as like we have a friendly, almost like taunting sibling vibe going, not like we secretly hate each other but are trying to get through a podcast type vibe.
Oh gosh. Okay, I need everybody like when this tweet goes out to respond about this. Anyway, Josh, what is your nostalgic favorite special place in your heart coaster?
Yeah, I have 3 of them. Blue Streak at Cedar Point was the first coaster that me and Kyla rode together. El Toro was my 100, and the Mardi Gras Bolt was what we rode on our honeymoon.
I like those. Those are good answers, Josh.
Thanks.
Execution Man asks, thoughts on Hyperia being temperamental, better or worse than the Downtime Top Thrill 2 has?
You know, there's a great El Toro Ryan video breaking this down, and I'm not going to try and step on Ryan's feet because Ryan's the GOAT.
Yes.
So I'm just going to say this question's outdated, Alex, and I'm sorry.
It kind of is. I think it came in before, like, Hyperia got its footing.
It did. Quick summary for those of you who don't know. Basically, the polymer at the top of the lift hill was wearing down too quickly because of the steep angle that Hyperia has to go down, combined with the weight of the train and the acceleration that happens due to the chain dog only being in the front and not the back. Watch Ryan's video. It explains it in a lot more detail than that, but that's the TLDR.
Excellent. Cedar Kev asks another question. What coaster has your favorite theming? Something other than FOF for you, Taylor. Kev, I have a great answer for you.
No, I'm gonna modify this and say
no.
Besides any FOF variant.
No, yep. Josh. But so many people sent me pictures of Poltergeist during Roller Coaster Rodeo.
Nope.
And it looked so good.
Nope.
Favorite
no FOF variants.
then it's gonna be Mystic Timbers, but
Really?
But Poltergeist, yeah, at the shed. Maneater's in my playlist.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Hagrid's or Velocicoaster.
You can't say Hagrid's, like, that has too much IP. Like, something without IP.
I don't even care
something
about
without
Harry
IP.
Potter.
Something without
Fine.
IP.
Fine. Theming for something without IP. I'm thinking quickly here.
Think quicker.
Fine. I want to say Pantheon is a joke because Pantheon has no theming. But realistically, it's got to be Verbolten probably.
You should have said Foff, because nobody said that you couldn't say Foff.
I can think of at least.
Okay. Anyway, next question.
If we had a nickel for every time Taylor cut me off before I could insult Foff, we could retire this podcast. We don't make any money off this podcast, but we could retire from this podcast.
Surveillance's other question is, will any of you partake in the human claw machine? No.
Maybe. If I get a good deal, I'm not going to pay a full price for it.
Yeah. Yeah, if it were like $5-10, I'd be like, sure. It seems like it would be fun to be like a human claw, but I don't want any of the prizes, and I especially don't want to pay $20 for any of those prizes.
I bet that's going to be a pass holder perk, is 10% off human claw or something.
I could see that.
Yeah. They're all inflatable $2 prizes for $20.
I've seen some like massive soccer balls and footballs in there and stuff, but it's mostly just massive inflatables.
I saw somebody say they should put like one iPad at the very bottom of the pit and like let people go for the super high value prize, but make it super hard to get. That would be more fun, in my opinion.
That would be fun. But yeah, no, it's gonna take a lot to get me to deal with that, because it's a lot of setup, it's a lot of teardown. No, I'm good.
It's probably a one and done for me if I get a good deal.
Yeah. Mitchell asks, what's the best roller coaster name dad joke you can do? For example, the wooden coaster at KI. It's the beast one in the park.
You can't put me on the spot.
I'm not good at dad jokes.
I usually am. There's too many coasters in my head.
Yeah. So, like, if we were at a park, I feel like I could.
I'm sorry, Mitchell. I'm disappointing you. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Wow, this next question's out of date.
Send us a list of your coaster dad jokes. Tweet it at quaddownpod.
Yeah.
Coaster Dudes asks.
It's a little out of date.
Oh my gosh, when is the last time... okay. With it being Father's Day, what memory stands out the most of you with a family member at a theme park?
Does my wife count as a family member? I'm gonna go with no. I think that's a cheap answer. My dad called my mom 2 years ago when we were getting in line for Steel Vengeance. Or no, he was texting her. And he's like, yeah, we're riding Steel Vengeance again. I'm so excited I didn't get sick last time. Because my dad usually gets motion sick, so he was really worried. Oh. So, like, that was like a whole family sharing the Steel Vengeance hype moment. That was pretty fun.
When I got pushed back on Flight of Fear because we didn't launch fast enough, so we e-braked on the launch track. It was during Coaster Stock, and I was with my mom and Adam, and...
I was about to say, I know when this was and how this is a family memory, but you really led with Foff, not your family on that one.
Oops,
Mom.
Foff
is family.
Foff is family. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Adam. Adam's not family. Adam's just Adam.
Adam is honorary family.
Sure.
Anyway,
I mean, he's like legitimately not family though, but
I know.
He's honorary. He was mentioned. But yeah, we got pushed back on Flight of Fear. So That was a cool memory with my mom. Yay!
Dan Glauser wants to know, when will Top Thrill 2 reopen?
Great question, Dan. Nobody knows. Never.
I've heard so many rumors that I've heard everything from, and take this with the biggest grain of salt, it's never reopening, to they're going to announce it next Monday and it's going to open the same day. So,
yeah.
Anytime in between tomorrow and eternity, I suppose. I don't have a genuine guess.
A million different theories on what's wrong and why it's not reopening. It's been a month since there's been any work done on anything in there.
I've been told they're working on the blue and black trains, just not visibly.
Okay.
Which doesn't make sense to me because they were very visible with the silver trains.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a few people say it's guaranteed opening this month. I haven't seen a single source for it.
I don't know how you can guarantee that when, we haven't seen anything go on.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is, obviously, early on, if you were following me on Twitter, I had a source that told me what was the initial problem was. We know that ended up being the problem. And then my sources kind of went dry. So I genuinely don't know anything at this point, or nothing's happening. Those are the two options.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if that one thing, they fixed it, and then they found 10 more issues.
That is absolutely my assessment of what happened, is that the wheel bogies were jacked up. They fixed them. They started doing testing, and then, oh shit, something else broke. Or we just found something else. I fully believe that when he originally said it's not going to be an all-summer closure, it was, we need new wheel bogies, we'll order them, they'll come in, we'll throw them on. It's not a big deal. I think a lot more happened, and they haven't talked about it.
And obviously, they're not going to reopen it for 2 weeks and then need to close it back down. That would be... Yeah. I feel like that'd be more of a nightmare than just being closed all summer.
Hyperia.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other thing. And listen to our last episode for that. Great final question here.
Oh my gosh, Elizabeth, this is a great final question. What's the best finale on a coaster, Josh?
First thing that comes to mind is the Mosasaurus roll, which isn't technically the finale, but it's Mosasaurus roll, a little bit of meandering, and then the breaks. So I'm going to call it the finale. I think Steel Vengeance's finale is both overrated and underrated at the same time somehow.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about Area 4. Magnum, final answer, Magnum.
I like on Steel Vengeance when you're sat on the brake run and you can see somebody come over you. Mm-hmm. That's a cool moment. That's the only time I actually super care about the Steel Vengeance. And that's not even the finale. That's the brake run. I'm not gonna say Foff. I love Foff. Yeah, I like it.
No,
it has a good end.
Foff's finale blows, and you know it.
No, I like the Foff finale.
You have told me the reason you walk off with a headache every time is because of how janky it is through the corkscrew to the brakes.
I've gotten used to it, Josh. It's the brakes that suck on that ride now. I actually look forward to the corkscrew at this point.
I'm also going to say honorary mention to Ride of Steel at Darien Lake, because you come out of the kind of slow double helix and you take an off-axis airtime hill and then 2 bunny hills that just give you great floater.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what my actual, finale, fave is.
Mystic Timbers has a good return run, too.
The splashdown on Diamondback. That's a good best finale.
I mean, yeah, I'm thinking of other splashdowns, and Diamondback probably does it amongst the best if I didn't get wet every time.
But, that's the fun. Are you not one of the people that, lean out to get more splash?
Oh, I am. Look, I know why I get wet, okay? I just regret it afterwards.
Okay, so you can't say that you... Whatever. So, yeah, Diamondback will be my final answer, because otherwise, Banshee's finale's fine, too.
Is it? What happens after the inline twist? Super memorable finale.
Okay,
also,
so no,
shout out.
Diamondback final answer.
Also, pick a non-KI. I want a non-KI finale from you. I can't see. Here's the thing. You're like KI's biggest fan, but I also can't blame you because you almost only have been to KI.
Yeah.
So like you don't have a big pool yet, so I can't blame you.
I literally went for like 3 hours today and spent half that time just doing like photography and stuff. Like it's
Anyways,
yeah.
Non-KI, pick a finale.
I'm trying to think cuz like I keep wanting to say Wildcat's Revenge, but literally the only thing I can remember about that ending is slamming into the brakes.
I was going to say the hard lateral jolt.
Let me report back next week after I've been to a couple parks.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, honorable mention to Backlot Suncoaster for breaking Post's rib. Or bruising it or whatever.
I thought we were just honorable mentioning Backlot Suncoaster. Sorry.
Okay, we've reached a point where your love for Kings Island has become a fault. When we're celebrating Backlot. Foff I can overlook, but Backlot...
Backlot's so fun, Josh. Oh my gosh. No,
wrong one.
Hold on,
wrong music.
No. I don't care. We're not done yet. You haven't asked me a question, and I haven't asked you a question, Josh.
Oh, that's a good point.
What if Darien Lake could have a Squishmallow of its own? What would it be?
I actually have a really good answer for this. Darien Lake itself, the lake, is the only body of water in the world that has something called a sharp. It's a half shark, half carp. We're the only place in the world they have it. So I feel like that'd make a really good Squishmallow. That
would. I want to see it. I also am going to have to go look that up after I get off here.
Yes, you will. Okay, question for you. You wake up, it's 5 a.m, you have to go to a park, and you have no energy. What beverage or food do you reach for to wake you up?
Okay, I thought you were going to ask which park I go to, and I was like, well, maybe the one that's only an hour away. I only have how long to wake up?
Let's say it's 5 and you have to leave at 5:30. You're going on a road trip.
To be honest, I don't eat or drink anything before I go anyway. So I'm going to grab my trusty Dr. Pepper, and that's all for us this week.
I was trying to cut you off before the Dr. Pepper plug.
Okay, that's it for Quad Down this week. Orion's a Giga.
Orion's a Giga. Quad Down out.
Quad Down out.